Hello and welcome to DriveCast. My name is Curtis. I'm an Audi Master Technician, and I'm freaking tired today. Waking up at 4 a.m. this whole week to go to the gym it's catching up to me a little bit. But I got a little short story to tell you. It's a short story of the silver medalist. It's really not a story. It's more of a lesson learned. The story of the silver medalist is he's not in third place. He is obviously not in first place, but I think he's in the most envious place. He envies first place. If you look at the Olympics, the person who comes in second place might have missed out by a hundredth of a second, tenth of a second. Whatever they did, they missed out by just a hair. So they really have that deep just resentment towards the first place person. That first place person bested them by the smallest of margins, or maybe a huge margin, but they were just so close to being in first place. I think Ricky Bobby said it best. If you're not first, you're last. I think I have been living my life by that for a very long time, and I think I'm going to continue living my life by that. Because at the end of the day, I'm a winner. I think that maybe if you're listening to this, you want to be a winner too. And we can all be winners. We don't have to be winning at the same thing. We can just be winning at life. Winning at the game we play every day. We hit that power button, we sign in, we go and we take life and we just crush it. I'm ready to win at that. So I'm going to talk a little thing about, for me, the fear of coming in second place and the motivation behind being number one, at least for me. I think that in regards to that silver medalist and in regards to the bronze medalist, well, they're just lucky to be on the podium. They're thankful that they did just enough to get ahead of fourth place. They're there. They're happy. They got a medal. They're not quite as upset as second place looks at that guy on first, that guy or girl in first. And they're like, really can't stand that mother trucker. And that is absolutely how I feel about coming in second place, too. I think that is one of the hardest things. I'd almost rather come in third or fourth place than second place. Because that second place, you really know deep down that could I have done better? Could I have woken up earlier? Could I have, stayed off my phone less? Could I have walked to the restroom faster? Could I have, trained harder, practiced one more day, practiced one more hour, pushed myself just a second faster? What would it have taken? And then what was it? What did you miss out on that first place? And there's just this deep, dark monster inside of you when you're in second place. If being in second place doesn't drive you to go out and just slaughter first place, you just want to slaughter them. And I mean that in the most professional and appropriate manner, but also in like just that deep, dark monster inside of you. Let that thing out. Obviously, within reason. You don't want to do nothing too crazy, but within ethical reason, let that monster out. Like say you're competing in something where there's not other people. It's just you versus you. Future you is the first place you. Current you is the second or third place you. So dig deep. Are you the second place version of yourself or are you the third place version of yourself? Third place is I'm just lucky to be here. I'm having a good time. Maybe I'll get them next time. Maybe. I'm not too worried about it. I'm doing what I can and I'm ahead of all the other people. I'm ahead of the other Curtises. I'm ahead of the other fellas. Or are you second place you? Or yours is like, I could have done better. I'm going to do better. I will do better. Next time, I will be that future you. I will be first place you. That, I think, is what drives me is not just myself. I think that's the most important. Driving to be the better version of yourself or myself and shooting towards that future you. What does future you want? That's what you're being graded on. That's what you're competing for future you. What steps are you going to take today to get to that point, to get to first place? So it's not just about waking up early, staying up late. It's about working hard. How are you working hard? Are you using your time efficiently? What are you doing? Are you learning new skills? Are you learning new traits? Are you learning new parts of your life that can help you earn that first place? What can you learn that you can't do today? You want to focus on what you can do today that's going to give you output for tomorrow, for 2 days, 3 days, a month, a year. Focus on what you can do today and earn that first place. In earning that first place, there's a few things that it's going to take: dedication, commitment to yourself. When everyone's giving up, what are you doing? When old you is giving up, what are you doing? The longer you stay committed, the more guarantee you have that you're going to get to that first place, that you're going to achieve those things that you want to achieve. Because it's not easy staying committed to those things. It's not easy staying dedicated to being number one. when there's a competition in life, you can't just wait and think that number one or number two is just going to fall into your lap. Like, I did enough last week. That's okay. I'll get there. It'll be all right. No, it's not going to be all right. You're going to have to go out there. You have to grab that thing by the neck, first place. Don't grab don't grab anyone by the neck. But grab first place by the neck, and you look it right in the eye, and you tell it, I'm coming for you. I am coming for that first place. And you let it know. You let yourself know. If that's what you're competing against. Be friendly if you're competing against some other people. Maybe talk to yourself in the mirror. Heard that works pretty good. Haven't quite done it. More of an internal motivation kind of guy. Maybe talk to myself in the head. Maybe mumble some things to myself. But definitely haven't looked myself in the mirror. I think David Goggins has a pretty good story about that in both of his books. He talks about it twice. That's a extremely dedicated person to push past all mental and physical barriers of life, and I give him absolute props on that. No way I'll be running and doing all this stuff on broken legs, and that guy's a machine. Anyway, you tell yourself, I am coming for that first place. I'm ready to sacrifice the things that need to be sacrificed. I'm ready to do the things. I'm ready to learn the things. What challenges are you ready to overcome? What challenges am I ready to overcome? We have a little competition at work. Who flags the most hours, who can hit these certain amount of metrics that they've set up for us. And it's company-wide, so it's not just me competing against other Audi technicians. I'm competing against other technicians for the whole company. And usually December, January, a little bit slower months for us. Around the holidays, take more time off. We have like events and birthdays and things in December and January. So those are usually good months, but not like killer months for me are usually in the spring, the summer. And, when I see on that list of people who's in front of me, I feel like sometimes I'm ready to commit a crime. That sounds so extreme, but the level of just desire I have to just overcome that next person to get into that first place, I am ready to just kill it. Not just go out there and do whatever it takes. And then sometimes I put in way too much time at work, and sometimes I come in too early. And I say that because I'm really trying to balance my time at home and at work. So it really puts a strain on other people in my life. But I look back after the fact, and I'm like, man, I could have just played a little bit longer game, and instead of flagging all the hours or doing all the work that one day, it would have been okay to come do some of it the next day. And maybe that's why I struggle, because I'm not that type of person. I'm not the type of person that's like, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it next week. I'm like, well, it's got to get done today. If I can't do it today, I'm going to come in early. I'm going to get it done before the doors open tomorrow. If I'm the only one in the shop, that's okay. Well, they make the rules. We got to have two people in the shop. But if I'm one of two people in the shop, I'm going to get that mother trucker done. So I'm always putting in way too much time, because I say that because a goal of mine is to have more balance between home and work. So am I putting in too much time to overcome those people in front of me to be number one? Well, probably not. But am I putting in too much time to balance my life in the way that I want? Yes. And that's also important. Is you don't want to spend a bunch of time at work, and you don't want to spend a bunch of time, away from your family. Then whatever it is you're trying to do, if you're trying to be a killer parent, a killer father, a killer mother, a killer brother, sister, whatever the relationship or responsibilities you're trying to be a killer at, that needs to be your focus. What can you do to be better at that? And that you can still wake up early and be a killer father, a killer mother. Prepare for the day before you're woken up by your kiddos, or you're woken up by the sun rising, or you're woken up by the dog barking. Get up before the time that you're supposed to. Get ready. This last week, waking up early kind of stinks. But throughout the day, I felt so much better putting in that morning workout, and even though I'm sore and tired. Now, the fear of coming in second kind of comes in to me is, if I'm thinking about it right now, it's I'm not good enough. That's the first thought that comes to my head. I'm not good enough for the people around me. I'm not good enough for myself. And that's just the first thought that comes to my head. What am I afraid of if I don't come in first place? I am the most competitive person, at least I'm realizing it, but definitely have been told that I am the most competitive person. I'm winning. If we're playing a game, even if we're not playing a game, if there is any metric for doing something, getting somewhere, or somehow where someone can do it first, I am finding a way to compete for that position. And even if it doesn't need to be a compete, like driving home or something, I'll race my wife. I'm like, I'm going to find a way to beat you home. I'll take a different route. I'll risk it for the biscuit. Even if I'm not going to win, maybe she'll hit a red light. Maybe there's extra traffic that way. And sometimes, more times than not, she still wins. But I'm intentionally competing on who could drive home first. And I feel like with the kiddos, I don't know if I will just let them have it, you know? Like, I'm not going to be like, hey, yeah, you guys can win. Like, I will be nice about it and show them how to win and how to learn and do the things they need to do to be a winner in whatever they're doing, you know, but also be like passionate, not just about winning, but about what they're doing. You know, I don't want them to just go crush all their friends at Mario Kart. Well, that sounds pleasant and all. I want them to have some friends, you know, because usually when you're a winner, people at your level and people below you, they're not your friends. Some of them are. Like, you might pick one out of 100 that could be your friend, maybe two, but sad thing is when your friends, or what you think your friends are, your acquaintances, your coworkers, or even people around you, a lot of people get jealous. They get envious when you feel like you're doing great. But then when you start doing better than them, all of a sudden they've got these horrible things to say. They don't want to hang around you. They talk about you behind your back. And I think that's why everyone says to everyone that is doing good, or the perception of good, is they always build your friend group up. And then I think besides surrounding yourself with people who are more successful than yourself, is a lot of people that are doing better than you are not going to try to pick you up and wipe the floor with you because this guy's doing better than me. Like, I can't stand that. I don't like him. But like people that have already, you know, like mentors and people you look up to and people that are already taking the steps that you're learning, they have been through the things that you've been through. They've done the things that you've done. And they understand how you feel for the most part. And a lot of people, not everyone, there's definitely a lot of stinkers out there. But if you surround yourself with people that you like and people that you get along with, then those people are less likely to make you feel like crap. And everyone needs a good friend group. Everyone needs a good team. And it's about finding those people that you can build them up, they can build you up. And it's just one group of just people ready to go out and just kill for that number one spot. I've had a lot of people that I work with, and not really a lot of friends, maybe just people that I've lost in contact with or don't have the same mindset. Maybe they're not as like set out to be like a go-getter. They're more of just like, I'm living life, I'm enjoying myself, and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying there is. Like, if you're happy, just continue to pursue that. Build on what makes you happy. Being freaking Slayer, being number one, makes me happy. Sometimes it's a downfall. But right now, it makes me happy, and it will continue to make me happy for a very long time. And I will probably always try to find something to be number one in, no matter how long I'm alive. It's just, that's me. That's written into my code. So a lot of coworkers got something to say. And tuning those mother truckers out is most important, because the more you let people talk about you, whether you ignore them, you talk back to them, or talk whatever, like, they're not going to stop. You can't make everyone happy. We're all sort of people pleasers. To be honest, we all want people to like us. And that's why you got to find people that support you and that want to see you do good. That team is essential. So if you have some haters, because you will, if you're doing anything, if you're on that podium at all, if you're in third place, people are going to be hating. They'll see you riding that wave of victory, and they're going to hate. If you're in second place, they're going to hate you just as much, if not more. Because you're ahead of them. You're doing more than them. You're putting in the effort. They don't see what you did to get there. They don't see the things you sacrificed. All they see is you up on that podium. They might, if you're competing, they might see you at work doing some here or there, but they don't see what you put in behind those doors, behind those mental doors in that big old freaking sexy brain of yours. They don't see those things that you go through every day, and they don't see what you're struggling with. And they don't see what happens at home. They're not watching you every day of every second. So, just ignore them. Be kind, be courteous, be respectful, but ignore people who have nothing good to say. Even if they're people of if you're at work and there's people above you, like managers or whatever, supervisors and managers can still hate on you. Just because they're a position above you doesn't mean they're going to be super nice and be your best friend. it's just the way it goes. You got to cancel out those people that don't want to, just don't give them your time, give them your respect, but don't give them your time. Like, you don't have to be rude, but you don't have to sit there and talk to them like, hey, what's up? Like, no. Like, you need to talk about something like work-related? Sure, like, cool. But, like, I'm not going to shoot the shit with you. Sorry, I got something to do. If you're first place, you got the whole world against you. The whole world. That second place guy, he might act like your friend. They might act like your friend, but they are not your friends. You see competition, and you see people like Formula One. I love me some Formula One. And you see the little friend groups inside of Formula One. Like what's going on right now with like Max and Lando. They're homies, but there's some serious tension there because now there's competition. They were homies before, real close homies before when Lando wasn't winning. Now he's winning, and you see silly things like the competition between the cars, but I only see what the media sees, so I don't really know what's going on because the media is such a skewed thing. But I saw an interview with, like, on YouTube with Charles Leclerc, and I probably butchered that, but that's okay. And he talks about who his friends are in Formula One, and then he's like talking about how he's kind to everybody, but his friends are people that are not competing with him every day. They're like Pierre Gasly and stuff like that. Like, just not people he competes with directly, not people that are like in position to be ahead of him or directly behind him. And I think that's just exactly what I'm saying is you're not really going to be friends with those people you're directly competing with. And, everyone goes, all these winners, myself included, we all go through like a lonely phase. I don't think it's just a phase. I think it's life. It's so hard to find people that think similar-minded. There's so few of us. That's what they call it, the 1%. Because there's so few people out there that really are ready to dedicate so much of their lives and their time to being number one. And if you find two number ones and you put them up against each other, they sure as shit ain't going to be friends. Because they're both trying to be number one. They're going to do whatever it takes. So I'm reaching headquarters for the evening, and I'm going to leave you with this. Go out there, grab that number one by the neck, and just take a big old chomp out of it. Just say thank you. Have a nice day. We'll see you next time.